Hello, Scorpio, and welcome to your July 21 readings. I'm Emma, and I've been tuning into Scorpio energy prior to pressing record. So I'm going to share those feelings and that message that I've got with you. And then as we travel into this video, I will pull another card to layer that conversation. And towards the end, I'll pull a card for a relationship as well. So I'm feeling really good about Scorpio's July. It feels quite powerful. It's a powerful month for Scorpio, but it's a powerful month through realizing yourself through joyful experience. And what I actually wrote down was realizing joy. I feel like maybe what Scorpio enjoys has changed. And it might have been that in recent weeks or months, like you have found that some of the things you've always enjoyed or that you've enjoyed in recent years don't seem to be hitting the spot. And I feel like it's because you changed. It's not because, you're necessarily disconnected or despairing and you just can't find the joy anymore. It's more that what your heart is calling you towards has changed. And I feel like you've got plenty of opportunity in July. It's just happening. It's just happening where you suddenly realize through these beautifully synchronized experiences, those almost divine timing, fated experiences where you're just doing something and you realize through your whole being, gosh, I feel so happy right now. I feel so at peace right now. I feel so good right now. And I feel like these experiences are awakening you to that which you want more of, that which you need now. And it might be that these things are surprising. It might be that you go, do you know what? I had no idea that this is the thing that was going to make me feel that way. I had no idea that it was going to be something like this. It might be that you imagined it had to be something more grandiose and it's actually something quite simple, but at the same time, it's really important and you feel the need to clear so much space for it. It might be that it's a complete curveball and you found a new passion or creativity or sort of avenue that you just feel absolutely called for sort of towards, but that's what it is. This is the calling, Scorpio. I feel like throughout July you are feeling a calling to things because they are making you feel alive in a way that you've really yearned for, and it's awoken something in you. This is an awakening in you, but I love that this is all like awakening, transformative, calling through joyful experience. This isn't hardship. This isn't difficulty. This is joyful experience that is going, oh my God, that's it. That's what I want. That's what I need. And then I kind of feel like this is almost a bit triggering, Scorpio, as if you have these big feelings. Excuse me. You have these big feelings. You have these big realizations. And then you have to go, hold on a minute. How am I going to make space for this in my life? What needs to be moved? What needs to be rearranged? And I feel like this is deeply emotional. I feel like this is almost emotional in a joyful way. Do you know, like when people cry because they're happy? Like almost like that, and you feeling, oh my God, that feeling inside of me is so big, I cannot deny it. I cannot allow it to go. I cannot let go of it. I can't let it disappear into the background of my life. I've just had these big realizations about a joy, about a calling that feels good to me. And now I need to sort of look at the rest of my life, and it might be, do you know, like that little mini panic where you go, oh, I really want to do this. How am I going to make it happen? Oh my God. And then you just have that little mini panic of asking yourself, am I allowed this? Can I have this? What would that even look like? How do I move my world to make space for it? But also, am I allowed to have the other things and this? And I just feel like it might ignite some questioning, but Scorpio is so brilliant at being able to be quite straightforward and direct and logical. And I feel like although you might have that initial, oh my God, I've realized something really big that I want, but I don't know how to do it. It doesn't feel like you'll be there for very long, Scorpio, because you're probably figure out a way quite quickly. And it does feel like this passion is calling you onwards. This joy is leading you onwards. It's almost like pulling you. It's not so, it is a calling, and it's also a pulling to that feeling, because once it's been awakened, it's like the fire in you. Do you know, like it will not be silenced. And so we have got you coming back to life in not just a big way, but perhaps a new way, a way that you've not felt in a long time, or maybe ever. This is a really big realization. And I feel like through this experience of joyfulness, through this experience of greatness, through this knowing, you almost realize yourself. There is this realization of who you are when you're happy, when you feel good, when you feel great. And I feel like this realization of self is what is now saying, I have to honor this. I have to own this, because this is me. And this version of me is somebody I want out in the world more. And I can't silence it. I just can't silence this version of myself that has emerged. And it's almost like it won't go back in the box. You know, that idea of something's come out of the box and it won't go back in the box. And this feels great though. I feel like this joy is connected to a lot of the answers that you've been waiting for. So some of those questions that have been rolling around recurringly since maybe about February, I feel like this joyful stuff is the answer. So the good news is you've got a lot of answers coming through joyfulness. You've got a lot of aliveness coming through joyfulness. You've got reclaiming your sense of self through joyfulness. And I just love that so much is happening for you, Scorpio, that will be not through hardship and trauma and trial and difficulties, but through feeling great, but through feeling good. This is you awakening to life and yourself through great experiences. And okay, it might be a little bit like unnerving, and at the same time it's exciting, and it does feel really good. And it does feel like just honoring that is your call for July. Do you know, like just realizing, okay, I feel this way, realizing I am this, I want this, I feel this. The realizing of it is your big theme and is the big step, because just the more time you spend in realizing that joy and realizing your joyful self, the more you're going to gain in bonding with it and getting to know it and becoming it, that it will give you what you need afterwards. So it'll give you what you need for the next steps. So I don't feel like July is necessarily about charging onwards with this information. It's like you gain all this information about yourself, and it's not necessarily about now charging onwards with the information. I've got this information, let's do something with it. It's more about spending time with the information and discerning what you want it to mean for you. But this is big, and it's powerful, and it's emotional, and I just see you feeling so alive and so thankful to be alive and thankful to be in the world, and it feels really good. So if we pull a card just to layer that conversation, and we've got the Wheel of Fortune. This is exactly what you're meant to be feeling. Do you know, like this is our ultimate fate thing. And I feel like it's where things start to turn in your favor here. This is where the wheel starts to turn from being difficult and despairing and turns in your favor to say, good, great, magnificent, wonderful, awesome, joyful. And it's the good stuff. And it's about discovering who you are through the good stuff, discovering how you create when you feel good, what you choose for yourself when you feel good, what you want to become and what you want for your life, and how you dream and how you vision and how you go forward when you feel good. I mean, we know what you're capable of through tough times, but this is about discovering yourself through the great things, through the great feelings. And I feel like that just means there's an abundance of good stuff coming for you in July. But this is exactly what you're meant to be feeling. And even if it changes the script or the plan or what you thought you were doing, Scorpio, you are meant to be feeling this. You are meant to be having these realizations, and you are meant to be reassessing the current structure of your life and and assessing where can I wibbly wobble it about, where can I shift it, where can I change it in order to allow this feeling to have more room in my life. So you are massively fated to be feeling good in July. How can, that's a great thing, right? So I think although, obviously as a theme, that doesn't cover your progression, does it? It doesn't say, oh, Emma, where am I going? What's happening? Are things going to move forward for me? This is not only going to move you forward, this is going to explode your life, because feeling this way is everything you've been asking for, and it is what's going to take you to all the places that you've not only imagined but are actually beyond your imagination right now. I feel like these feelings are taking you to places that you haven't even decided to go yet. And so maybe if you have felt like you haven't been progressing forward at a speed that is desirable to you, maybe you felt like things are dragging or a bit delayed, it could be that through July, the experiences you're having, this is what you've been waiting for, because it's actually going to take you in directions that were previously unplanned. Your progression is just going to go ba-ding, straight forward through this awakening. So you are going to move forward. You are going to progress. You are going to go towards the things that your heart is calling you towards. But it could be that those things are about to change and they're about to get leveled up and even better and even brighter. And it just is going to just go forward so fast. It's just going to be really exciting. But you need to have this feeling kick in throughout July that really makes sense to it. Oh, hold on there. I pulled too many cards and I didn't even look at them because I was so excited in Scorpio energy. I'm getting ready to look at relationships. So obviously this applies to relationship. You can apply it to relationship. It might be that through relationship in July, you are realizing who you are when relationship is good. You know who you are when relationship is challenging, but who is Scorpio when relationship is great? What does that look like? What does that feel like? What does it look like when you're getting what you want? And who are you becoming through these good experiences? It does feel like everything is leveling up in terms of standard, and you may find that through feeling good, great, and magnificent, what you want in relationship goes up a notch, and you just realize you want that higher standard and you are calling it in relationships. So you might be having conversations with your partner that really say, I've had this big awakening, I'm having these big feelings, I know what great feels like, and I want to feel that inside of our relationship, and I know that we can. And it might be that it's because of this greatness inside your relationship, that's another avenue in which you're experiencing it, that you're going, wow. But I just feel like you will be calling relationship to higher standard after July. Your relationships will be going to a higher standard because you will not be able to ignore what great feels like. And so that only bodes well for your relationships, because I have a feeling that that high standard will be honored. Let's have a look. If I pull a card for relationship, we have got the 8 of Cups. Sorry, I couldn't figure out what I was looking at there, like with the number for a second, and I had to count the cups. Just one of those days. It feels as though you are walking into new worlds and demanding higher standard experiences. But I feel that the reason you're doing this is because you've experienced higher standard. Now, it could be, like I say, that it's relationship going to the next level for you, that you are having these beautiful experiences that have just set a bar that you will never again go below, because it is so good that you're just owning it. And it could be that that's how you're discovering your sense of self and saying, wow, I've never had this before. I've never had it this good. And I will never again have anything less than this, because this is so great. and just sort of discovering who you are when relationships are healthy and nourishing and supportive. Because I mean, you're fairly kick-ass on your own, but discovering who you are when it's great and it's in partnership and what you're capable of when you've got that level of support, that's beautiful. But it could also be that if your life is leveling up and you're feeling that sense of bliss and contentment and peace and joy and goodness in other areas of your life, if your current relationship experiences aren't living up to that, it may be that you're beginning to be really honest about it and say, I'm sorry, this isn't up to standard for me, and I know what I can feel like, and I refuse to feel anything less. And I believe that what you want, you're going to get. But it comes through owning that standard and owning your own standard, and owning what it is that you know you can feel in terms of goodness, and refusing to live anything less. And that is a big theme in July, refusing to live anything less. There's that Abraham Hicks quote that says, "You will not be able to accept anything less than the standard of that which you have become. It will not feel good to you." And I feel like in July, you are realizing what it's like to experience standards of your own becoming, to experience that and know what that feels like when it's lined up for you. And so I think for many, many, many of you, this is taking your relationships to the next level and just actually allowing it and enjoying it and realizing yourself through good relationship. And for some of you, that might be that you're actually walking away from things that just aren't up to high standard. It may not be that they're bad relationships. It may not be that they're terrible relationships. It just might be that they're not up to standard for you as an individual, and you are feeling bold enough to go get what you want and know that you can have it, because all these other areas of your life that are inflating and feeling good are the evidence that you can have it. And there is no reason that can't go into relationship as well. You know, if you're feeling like this awakening and it's in your family life or your social life or your work life or your solitude, or just like as a big picture, I feel great. Of course you can have that in relationship. That's the evidence. That's the evidence right there. It's not like, oh, I can have great work life and I can have great friends, but I've got to accept substandard relationship. Of course not. Of course not. And if you are somebody experiencing beautiful relationship, then that's your evidence. That's to say, well, if I can experience this glory inside of my partnership, I know it exists, then I know I can have it in these other areas as well. And I just feel like everything's been called up to a certain standard with Scorpio in July. And it's a standard that is, I'm no longer willing to feel reduced and less than and substandard. I'm willing to feel good and great and peaceful and brilliant. And it just feels so powerful and emotional. And I feel like it is set in the scene and set in the stage here for some very big life experiences that are ahead through August, September, and October. So, you know, this is a big month for you. A big month, but it's all about feeling good. It's about feeling good. Who am I when I feel good? What am I capable of? How do I grow when I feel good? And just changing that story from I'm the survivor that has grown through my bad experiences, and easing into, well, who am I when I feel great, and what am I capable of when I feel good? And how do I give myself permission to live that more? It's a big month. Okay, that's all I've got. So if you'd like more of me, you can join me on Patreon. I post there, you know, a little something every day. I'll pop a link in the description. You can also book in for one-to-one readings with me. I've got there, I'll pop a link to my website, and I will be back for your August 2021 readings. So have a fantastic July. Enjoy your feeling good. Allow it to be your calling into life. And I will talk to you again soon. Bye, Scorpio.